I think, which is what put Tesla where they are, is there are people that are, if they do the research, the best vehicle for them will be a Tesla in most regard.
Mhm. With this episode, I try to go more into the surroundings of Tesla, everything about how they could perform so well, and it's interesting with your experience with the club. How do you see the perception? Is the perception shifting? Do you feel like, or is it still very niche thing? I mean, you've said, of course, your club grew and grew, but I don't know. What's your feeling? What's your feeling on the base? You know what I mean?
No, that's a good question. I think just like the company, the club aspect of it has grown. Like I was saying before, it was kind of niche before, where you would know whoever, and even when I went to pick up my car, it was like big fanfare. You know, people showed you around. You got the you know what I mean? Like it was like a really big to do, and now it's like, all right, you go there and you go, you know what I mean? Like, and I think the company has grown so big in such a short amount of time by I think automobile standards, like this short window of like 10 to 15 years that we're looking at, is so much has happened. You know what I mean? Like even if you just look at the last 5 years, like there's just been a lot that has happened. And I think that growth kind of lends itself to changing things a little bit. Like even for me as a president of a Tesla owners club, like one of the things that we look at is we're dealing with the people who appreciate the brand and respect the brand and are either looking for more information about the brand sometimes and things like that. You get a lot of new members that are just curious, and believe it or not, like there's still people to this day. I met somebody yesterday, never been in a Tesla.
Wow.
Like wild, you know what I mean? Like, and they were getting one, and they had never even been in one. And so like, and that happens to people, but you also have the other side of it, of people who just, which is what put Tesla where they are, is there are people that are, if they do the research, the best vehicle for them will be a Tesla in most regard. Like, not to sound cultist or whatever. Me personally, I think if it fits for you, then it fits for you. 9 times out of 10, unless you just are really anti-Tesla, it's going to fit for you. But there's a lot of people that are just anti-Tesla. But anyway, there are a group of people that just bought the vehicle because it worked. There's enough charging stations around for them that they could feel safe having it. There's also enough of them around that they think like, oh, okay, well, there's going to be service, or, you know what I mean? There's going to be help. And so, and I think like that right now is the bulk of the buyer. I think it's just people that are just buying a vehicle that suits their purposes. Like there's, like I was just at our local service center yesterday. I mean, and they are like hundreds of cars per day going out of there. Like people are just like buying and you know what I mean? And they're coming in,
absolutely.
And they're happy and whatever. But then there's a large group of people that are just like, well, I just need a car, and this is like the best electric vehicle right now from what I've heard from people, you know what I mean? And they had no idea. They had no idea about Tesla or whatever. So, and I think that is the dynamic that's changed for the company as well as for a lot of the owners clubs. Like even like we become more of information / influencery about the brand, as opposed to before it was just about like meeting people and getting to know people and getting to know the members. Whereas, I mean, you can see it in some of the stuff I post. It's really like people really hunger for information. And we're still talking about a small percentage. We're like less than 10%. You know what I mean? Like, as much as we're in a bubble because we understand the brand and everything, but there's a large group of people that have no idea. Large group of people, no clue about Tesla, no clue about the benefits. And I was telling somebody yesterday at my job, like, and they were like, what? No oil changes? No regularly scheduled maintenances? Like they couldn't wrap their head around it. Like they were like, that's what? It was really bizarre. But I think that's the dynamic shift, as what you're saying, is just the company's grown so much and become so renowned. I think I made this comment earlier, is like people, it's become the Kleenex of EVs. You know what I mean? You're not even using the actual brand Kleenex, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, and Tesla just become that. Even if you don't like it, even if you are a Ford exec, you can find yourself saying like, oh, this is the Tesla of that, or this is, you know what I mean? Like it just becomes, it is synonymous with excellence, or even like just the overall EV industry. So it is what it is. And I think they've done a really good job of moving the world to sustainable transportation. Like, man, it's been
it's crazy. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy how this how everything unfolded. And I mean, if you compare other cars to the Teslas again, and then you compare the specs and everything,
right,
then you pretty fastly realize just on paper, not even the driving feeling and everything, just on paper, the specs, nothing matches. I mean, of course, Mercedes had some cars that had higher range as the Model S even, but the thing is, it's not efficient. Yeah, even Lucid. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's not efficient. That's the thing. It's not to the weight ratio. When it comes down to the weight ratio, to the energy output that they have, or the performance, or the battery life, battery charge, or something. Battery consumption. Sorry, for me, I have to twist around my English here with my German head. But
you're getting it. You're crushing it.
Thanks. And what I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, it's so funny that when people look the Super Bowl ads, and then they start to compare they see the cars and these things, this marketing campaigns that they pushed was just a huge marketing campaign for Tesla. Yeah. Because if you compare it, you can't deny it. And I also think that's the big strength of the brand, at least, is that there will be people that say, oh, I don't like Elon Musk, but he isn't actually Tesla. He's just of course he's the CEO and everything, but the product speaks for itself. And of course, you can sit on the sideline for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, maybe 6 years, let it be 10 years. But at some point, you can't deny the cost, the more efficiency and everything. Absolutely crazy. And I mean, it's absolutely astonishing.
It is what it is. And you see it more and more like every day with the brand and with the coming of the Cybertruck. I think the Model 3, refreshing the Model 3 was like a huge win. I mean, it's not here in America. You guys are lucky. You guys get it before.
Yeah, I should have ordered one and exported it to you guys. Send it over.
It's just one of those weird times where, like, what else would you choose? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a Tesla. I tell people all the time, it doesn't actually have to be a Tesla, but it should be electric, because why not? You know what I mean? Like, especially like a few years ago, even 5 years ago, it might have been more expensive, but now and Matthew Donegan Ryan says this all the time. He lets people know that a Model 3 is price comparative to a Toyota Corolla. Not even like a Camry.
That's so insane. That's so insane.
It's like, bro, it's not. It doesn't. Not every Tesla is freaking $100,000. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to spend like not like the Lucid Sapphire, which is like $250 or something like that. Like, and you have like all these companies that are making these super expensive, like the Cadillac Escalade is like $200,000, and the freaking, what's that new one? The the handmade one that's all like bespoke.
From
Cadillac.
From Cadillac. The Celestic.
Yeah, the Celestic.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm blanking out on the name.
Yeah,
but Celestic. It's hand built by one person. It seems like it's like
and no matter how you look at that, that is a station wagon. You know what I mean? Like, it's glorified and it's whatever, but Cadillac made a station wagon, a hand built bespoke station wagon, and they're charging people like $350,000 for it. Like that's crazy. And I think people have in their mind like EVs are this or this, you know what I mean? Oh, Tesla is that. But I'm old enough to have remembered the Prius, and people did not want a Prius. Even in California, they were like, oh, you think you're better than me because you care about the environment? I'm not going to get a Prius. Tesla has just become that, you know what I mean? The antithesis of fuel economy or whatever. And it's like, oh, so how are my kids going to get to school without buses and all this type of stuff? And it's like, man, the eventuality is going to change. Like, everything is going to go electric, and because it's better.